Hello, welcome to this new episode of the AlexShow.tv. As you can see, we have my very good friend Tony on the show again. Thank you, mate, for being here. Another out there episode out there in a park in London. Thank you, Tony. It's good to see you out there. And I wanted to say, thank you, mate. I wanted to say before we start, there's something I wanted to say from the previous show that I want to publicly thank you for, helping me out so much. You're really a key part of the channel. I don't know if I will be still here without you. Honestly, I say this from the bottom of my heart. I don't know. There are many times that I think of quitting. Because as I share privately with you, I mean, there's a good effort invested on the channel, and maybe I'm not seeing the interaction I was expecting. And I'm still human. I still have an ego, I guess, and it's important for me that this reaches out, to most. I mean, it's like setting up a business, and if there are little results, you eventually quit, I think, because you're expecting something. Okay, so thank you very much,
you're welcome.
mate.
No, mate, you're welcome.
Thank
no
you.
Skin off my nose. It's no skin off my nose. It's easy work.
I know. Thank you. But it's very important, mate, because it's.
I appreciate it.
It started like you were a regular guest, I guess, from Week in the Future. We met there, and then you have become so important for me. And people don't know that we talk a lot off the record. I mean, through WhatsApp and stuff like that. So I really wanted to thank you. And we have a very good topic today, because last night I was watching this 2-hour documentary on Netflix. I think there are two different ones. The one I watched was on Netflix, and it was in Spanish, by the way. That's the strange part. And the one I watched was called The Darkness of the Church of Light of the World. There's this church called the Light of the World. It started in Mexico, in a city I know very well, which is Guadalajara, which is kind of the Mexico City, Guadalajara, and my city, Monterrey, are the three big cities in Mexico. Okay, so it started close to 100 years ago in 1926, and I'm going to share a little story here, mate, on the church, that this person apparently had an epiphany, or he claimed that he had a vision or something like that God told him he was an apostle from Christ, and he had to start a new church. So the gentleman started the church. Then he grew older. I think when he was passing away, he said he had an epiphany, and now the son had to be the new apostle, which I find extremely convenient. That is between the same family group. Okay, and
pass it on.
Exactly. And then the other person had cancer. And in 2014, I believe he passed away, and the son said, "I had the epiphany that I'm the apostle, so I'm going to take over." So I find it extremely convenient. Okay, extremely convenient. Yes, extremely convenient. By the way, this church, not extremely large, but apparently 5 million members, which are required to donate 10% of their earnings, not to the church for the church's expenses. They are expected to give that during the masses and that. The 10% is exclusively for the apostle. So imagine how rich they become. Yeah, that's exclusively for the apostle. So by the time this third apostle, I mean, air quotes, I don't know how I honor it that way with apostle. No, he's not an apostle. Self-appointed. He was traveling in private planes, staying in the best hotels, of course, traveling the world. And it gets more sinister than that, unfortunately, because apparently since the first one, since the 1926, there was a story of sexual abuse of the young women that were part of the congregation. Apparently, there was a brainwash that you were, if you were a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, something like that, you were to give yourself. That's very unfortunate. I have a trouble saying it. Okay, and we're not going to discuss the abuse part. It's a different topic. But they were brainwashed into giving themselves sometimes the virginity of the apostle. Okay, so for me, this is the worst you can be, mate. It upsets me a little bit, because we have spoke about Uday, who's saying that's darkness. Okay, there's light. There is darkness, and there is the false light. And these guys were the false light. You are worse than the darkness, okay? Because you are masquerading yourself as good when you're really bad. And that's worse than being bad. I'm saying I'm bad. Okay, I'm a demon. Okay, great. At least you know what you are. But to say, hey, I'm an apostle of Christ,
That's it.
and I rape little girls, 15, 16-year-old, and I traumatize them for life, that's horrible.
Yeah.
And by the way, the last apostle is in jail in the United States since 2019.
Good.
And he was convicted until 2036, which some feel he should have been convicted for life or something, but that's a different topic, okay?
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, mate, let's try and have a quick support video to kind of explain again what I explained about this church.
Yeah.
1 second, okay?
Oh, right.
I'm gonna pause the recording and I'll be right back.
We need to do something about it. It's dangerous for us now.
There are chunks of my childhood, black holes, black spaces.
I asked her, how far back does this go? And she said, it goes all the way back.
La Luz del Mundo is a church founded in 1926.
Anywhere you name it, there's a Church of the Light of the World. La Luz del Mundo claims to have 5 million members in 57 countries.
One of the largest religious cults of our time.
In addition to the yachts and the cars, they have ranches in Texas, in California.
The church has one leader at a time, and that's the apostle.
There have been 3 apostles in the same family.
With 3 generations of abuse that have been covered up till now.
I wanted to prove that I was worthy.
They almost make it seem romantic, like a fairy tale. You're gonna be a princess. He hit me until I fell.
Felt at his mercy for anything he wanted.
You might think it's a sin, but it's not, because it's in the presence of the apostle.
They cut ties with your family.
My mother, she doesn't talk to me.
Yo he perdido mi familia.
All of the loneliness, it is the worst torture a person can experience.
The reason why I want to remain anonymous is the fear.
If something happens to me, my daughter, or my husband, it's coming from them. This isn't a church. This is some sort of mafia.
First thing we think is exposure. We've got to expose it.
I started to reach out to people in the United States. Everybody in the Me Too movement never got anything back from anybody.
The Bible says maintain justice and do what is right.
This has to stop.
I think that this would have been different if these were white American girls.
We're gonna get justice.
They have so much power.
It got bigger. Everybody exposing this beast.
No vamos a parar hasta encontrar la verdadera justicia.
The truth is there.
Es una burla.
I forgive myself.
It was never a blessing.
I want to be a voice for all the other little girls.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. You see, and I just remember as I was watching the video, from the video watching Netflix, which is a suggested, is 2 hours and something long. It's not a series, it's a documentary.
Okay.
And, they were playing with your afterlife expectations, okay? They say, hey, you have to submit to the prophet so you can go into the afterlife. If not, you're going to be destroyed. If not, that's the light, the darkness, and the false light. And that's more horrible than you die.
Yeah.
That's more horrible when you play with these feelings. When you play that you are, you have a connection with God and, hey, do me a sexual favor and you're going to go to heaven or something. That's the worst. That's, sorry I get upset, mate, but that's the worst you can be.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna pass it to you. I'm gonna pass it to you.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. It's totally a complete manipulation and abuse. And yeah, like you say, the light, the dark, the false light. At least, like you say, you know where you are with the dark. It's it's evil. You can see it. It is what it is. The light. I mean, you still have to check out these ones, but the light is the light. That's good. But the false light, yeah. And it's playing with your expectations of eternal life, your soul. You're putting your soul in their hands.
Yeah.
And if you're not aware of what you're into, you're wasting your time and your life with these people because they're not real. It's absolutely diabolical. Yeah, what they're doing, because these people were looking at them as mediators to the source, mediators to God, and they're just colonized. It's so wicked. Yeah. I feel sorry for them. I do. I feel sorry for them. But this is naivety of a grand scale. And it happens. People are people. And this is what we get from people that are not decent and honest and in balance. They're not in balance with their own spirit. So they're in their head. They come up with loads of stories, how to make money, how to abuse people, how to get women, rape women. And it's all mental processes. It's all mental manipulation and power seeking. So, yeah, I would say all out of balance with their spirit is the essence of it all. But it's, wicked, mate. It's pure wickedness.
Yes, and we have named this episode "The Need to Believe," and maybe it's not extremely the title related, but is why there are so many of these so-called churches. Because this is officially an evangelical church, Christian church, officially.
Right.
So it's not a cult. It's not a cult. This is officially a religion, a church, or something. This has a Christian kind of doctrine. And I'm not saying all Christian churches are bad or the Christian religion is bad. I'm just saying officially, this is similar to the Jehovah's Witnesses, or this is a kind of a spin-off of Christianity, okay? So, because again, the concept is these three people, the grandfather, the father, and the son. The son, which by the way, since 2019 is in jail in Los Angeles. And he's probably going to be there to 2036 if he doesn't. He's like my age, I think 50 something. So who knows? Maybe he's not getting out alive. But what I'm trying to say is they claim that basically they were given the information. They were the apostles of Christ, and they had to set up this new church, similar to the Jehovah's Witnesses concept that it's a spin-off. It's a different interpretation of the Bible and stuff like that. But they're official. This is not a cult, okay? This is officially a religion. This is officially a church. They get tax benefits in Mexico. It's a non-profit, all of that. And as their leader was in church in 2019, the Mexican government investigated. They had over $100 million. He had private planes. I mean, how is this? You start a church, you will think, mate, you were concerned about benign causes. You were concerned about giving back, helping the local community. I would think that's the interest, no? Okay, of course, maybe, I mean, like the priests, okay, that they get shelter, they get food. I mean, the Christian, the Catholic priests, they get basic something, okay? They need to live. I agree with that. But private planes and $100 million and orgies all around the world, because this latest one wanted to travel around the world on the private plane with like 10 women or something and start these orgies. So how is this from God? How is this from source? I mean, I really feel sorry for the people that, because of the need of belief, they attach to something like this. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Because we don't need to believe. The Creator just exists. It's a different thing. One thing is a leap of faith, and one thing is being sure that He exists and He's a Father. Yeah. And why do we need the miracles, mate? I think it has to be demonic. It came to me last night that this, as you said, this has to be demonic, okay? This is the work of demons. It's not, God is not there, okay?
Sure. No. It's a really big question. It sort of goes to the heart of what is a human being. It kind of goes to the heart of what makes a human being a human being. And on the one side, I would say you've got humble human beings that they don't want much from life. They're humble. And with humility comes peace and generosity, and they share what they do have. They don't want much, because the humility is an acceptance of life, an acceptance of their path, and a knowing and a balance inside of knowing that they're already content. They don't need no more. They're content enough. Then on the other side, you have the not so humble, the arrogant, or the greedy. And the greedy ones are not content inside. So they don't have that inner peace, that inner alignment with their self and with life. So they're never present. They're never in the moment, appreciating the simple things like flowers or fruit, food, people, or everything. So they're not able to appreciate what's here now. So they're always looking ahead and looking back. And that leads to, I don't have enough. I need to chase $100 million. I need a new Rolls Royce. I need a new jet. So therefore, they go up into the head, in the ego. And that is a never-ending cycle of unhappiness. You cannot satisfy the ego. The more you acquire, the more you do, the more conquest you have, or rape, whatever it is, that is not going to satisfy the ego. It will just want more and more and more. It's like you're throwing, you've got the universe, it's got a hole in it at the top, and you're trying to fill it up with junk, but it's coming out of another hole up here. So, and even then you never fill it up. That's the ego. So they want to lose. It's just, life is about, in my opinion, my life is about appreciating the simple things, appreciating what I do have, and valuing people, and nurturing the value in life. But yeah, it's being humble and accepting your path in the moment, or going into the head and letting the ego run your life. And I think that's the split, mate. That's the divide there. And it's a shame, but yeah, they think too much. They think too much. Put it simply. Yeah,
Yes.
mate, that's what I would.
No. That's the problem. I think the problem, mate, it goes back to the egoic mind. And there's another show we did a long time ago. And remember, we spoke about this Mark Person gentleman, the creator of Minecraft. And there's a relationship with the story that he sold his game for $2,500 million after taxes, still a lot of money, $1,300 million. He lost his wife, he lost his family, he lost his true friends. He went partying in Ibiza for a year, drugs, sex, orgies. In the end, he said, I'm a shell. I'm done. No one likes me for me. They all want my money. I don't have a true friend. I don't feel great, even if I've been partying for a year, doing drugs for a year, having sex for a year. So at the end, he was empty, okay? Because that's what those egoic mind emotions and pleasures bring you, emptiness, okay? So the first one started the church. Who knows, mate? I cannot go into his heart, into his mind. He has passed away. I'm just speculating here, but who knows? Maybe he said, this is a business, okay? So I'm going to say that God spoke to me. I'm going to start a church that you have to give back 10%. And let's see where this goes. And then he said, hey, this is a business. So I'm going to inherit it to my son. And it's going to be a family business forever.
Yes.
But I think the abuse and the sexual abuse, and it was not only that, mate. He was, I mean, there's so much stuff. He was asked to be baited by 10 women, something like that, like he was some kind of king.
Yeah.
I mean, some really demonic low stuff, okay?
Yeah.
And he was asked, like, okay, wash my hair and wash my whatever, and, you know, that kind of stuff. He was asked always for someone to carry their stuff, like he was a Hollywood star or whatever. It's why do I see the parallels? Mark Person, he got a lot of money, he became demonic. Uday Hussein, he was born like this gentleman. His father was the president of Iraq. He saw his father killing brothers, uncles, whatever, and he became demonic. And then this person, apparently in a good thing, in a church, but he had all the money he wanted. He traveled in private planes since he was young. He became the minister, and he became demonic. Has to be that the realities of this density reality of 3D, you don't have a life if you think that the pleasure is getting drunk, getting high, having sex, traveling in private plane and stuff that I believe you're citing. That's what the demons want.
Yeah.
That's what the demons want. You become demonic.
Yeah. I see it as the dynamic that comes to me as you're saying, what you're describing is a lifestyle of consumption, devour,
exactly.
Acquisition,
devour.
Acquire, devour. So it's a lifestyle of devouring materialism, carnality, sex, drugs, alcohol, houses, cars. It's a physical devouring consumption, and if that's what you believe is going to make you happy, all the while you're following that path, you're not appreciating anything, because your belief is backwards. Your belief is facing the wrong way. And say, like, these flowers, I'll just show you these flowers for a minute. That is nature. So if all you think about is money and power and status, you can't simply appreciate a flower or a person talking to you. So it's like you only get so many bites of the cherry. Your soul is your soul, but if you neglect it for long enough, it's like if you don't use it, you lose it. Do you know what I mean? If you're not appreciating life, you lose that ability, and therefore you become empty. You're unable to appreciate anymore. That gift of appreciating and gratitude, it withers away. You lose it because you don't use it. That's a simple way of putting it. But I would say they don't appreciate anything. They know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. So, yeah, that's how I would see it, mate. They're squandering their soul on empty objects, you know, trinkets. So now, yeah, I'm just trying to fit this back on the stand again.
No worries. You look great. Yes, yes.
But
yes.
in nature, you can see a flower. Really look at it. It's beautiful. Life is beautiful. If you only give it a chance, if you only give it a time of day. But they're facing the wrong way, mate. They're facing materialism and consumption, you know, devouring all they can eat and all they can see. They've been misled by this system. Even the priests, you know, even that apostle, his value system has been implanted into him by this system, I expect. So, yeah, if we can't appreciate, little by little, we lose our humanity. You know, that's how I see it.
Yes, and a good friend of mine once told me a long time ago, you can learn a lot about a person on how he treats, for example, a waiter.
Yes.
Okay. So you were also mentioning, yes, the sex, yes, the pleasures, but also these people that become demonic is they thrive or they feel pleasure, or they find pleasure in mistreating others.
Yeah.
For example, hey, come on now, yeah, oh, come on, and in this church, they actually more than I see it in Catholic Church, they used to call their followers sinners, and they said, you are sinners, but the apostle is the one that is going to intervene for you, so you can go to heaven. But you're a sinner, you're awful, you're scum. Okay,
that's terrible.
So it was almost like a Stockholm syndrome mistreating of thinking I'm not worthy, and even if it's on the video, I'm not worthy. I need to do this to prove my worthiness. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's below bad. That's the darkness, and that's the false light. And the false light is worse than the darkness, because you masquerade as good guy to really be worse than the darkness. The darkness is just pure evil. Okay, that's fine. Pure confusion, pure immaturity. That's fine. But you, as you say, you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, there's no sugarcoating. With the false light, for me, it's extremely frustrating, extremely sad that millions of these followers, they truly believe their way to the afterlife is through this demon. Because, I mean, I'm sorry of that gentleman that is in jail, but is there a better way to describe him? A demon? Well, he even abused of his niece, mate. His niece, 14-year-old. He said that the father wanted for her to give him her virginity because that's what God wanted. That's worse than Judah Hussein. Picking a random girl and raping her. This is worse. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's just evil.
Disgusting. This evil, pure evil.
It has no regard for other people's humanity, no other people's feelings, other people's sanctity. It's just they're objects. They're an object to be used. You know, they're not real. They're not worthy of anything. I deserve to be dominating and ruling and abusing people because I'm superior. It's a mentality of egoic, supremacy, and I'm the best. It's hierarchy, isn't it? It's hierarchy.
Yes, of course. Yes, I'm special. I also believe, mate, I'm completely sure both this guy, his father, and his grandfather, they truly believe they were God chosen. I think you make that story in your mind, and your mind says yes. That's why you're entitled to all of these women and that, because you're special. I'm totally sure. I cannot put blame in the egoic mind, because you allow the egoic mind to push us. I mean, it's part of you. Okay?
Yeah.
But for some people that say, no, you're anti-mind, you don't want people to learn, you want people to be asleep. It's the contrary. What's keeping you in this world is your egoic mind.
Yeah. It's just like a record, isn't it? Like recording. You put a record on a record player and press play, and it's just the same old record. Like everyone might have a different record, but each person is playing their own record, and it's just repeating it over and over again. So unless you become present and examine your life, like I can't remember who said it, Henry Thoreau, I think it was. a life unexamined is a life not worth living. If you don't examine your life in the present and erase your subconscious programming, your record, overwrite it, you're never going to replace it with better actions and words and behaviors. So unless you're present in the moment and looking at your life and saying, oh, I'm greedy, or I'm selfish, or I'm impatient, I need to work on that. And when you do this work, it overwrites the record. And I think these people have got a long way to go spiritually. And I think they're on the line, it's a process. I think they make the mistake there, and then God will put them in the new life when they're reborn, I reckon, in a dynamic that will force them to be on the other side of the coin. They will be abused. They will feel the suffering. They will feel persecuted and poor and not worthy. And then their soul will know, oh my God, that's how it feels. So it's a process, I think, that we need to do our best at all times. And yeah, I don't envy them. I don't envy them at all.
No, this is very unfortunate, and I feel for all the victims because it's unfortunate. This for me is exhibit A of what's wrong with the world. As you say, hierarchies, submitting yourself to someone, to another man. I mean, this is really, I don't know. I when I saw it last night, I said I need to contact Tony and say we do a show, and then you suggested that this morning, so I think we were connecting to each other. But this is really, it felt like, I don't know. I want to stop it at some point because it was just too much. Of how can someone be so evil? Okay. How can someone be so deceiving? How can someone be so fake? This is, and I feel a little bit differently of what you just said, man, because we don't really need to experience it. This person can feel the pain. He's gonna feel the pain of everything he created. Okay. And I believe we're our own judges. Okay. So he's gonna have to feel it, and it's gonna be up to him to clear that. And you have two choices. You can clear it or you can leave it. And if you leave it, it's like a weight. It's like suddenly you are heavier. You have a weight in you, huge weight. And then you eventually you're not going to be available in this reality anymore. It's really just too much for you. You have a heavier weight. You go to a lower reality. Okay? And then you can continue this path of evil, of confusion, of darkness, of false light, and then you can go back and back and back until a very place that you don't exist anymore, in the sense that that's where demons are, and that's why demons became demons. It was not just one lifetime or anything. It was they elected to continue going on this path and say, so I'm heavier and heavier and heavier until I cannot participate anymore because I cannot harm anymore. That's the universe. It puts you in a place that you're almost there. You are unable to move, to create harm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They unfortunately have created portals to higher beings, like in this reality, and they connect to you, and that's when you are demonized, and usually it's through the abuse of drugs, alcohol, hate, fear, rage. When you feel like that, you put yourself in the position to be contacted by these entities that have gone so roll and roll and roll and back and back and back and back. So the universe is fair. There's justice made. If you continue to do evil, you're not going to be, you're going to become heavier and heavier and heavier until you decide to feel the pain, to understand what you have done, to self-judge yourself, and promise the universe, hey, I'm going to be different. Okay. And then you have a way out.
And mean it.
No, yes. The universe knows. The universe knows everything. For the ones that say, I didn't mean it, the universe knows. You can claim to I'm forgetting the word, but you can trick others, you can trick yourself, but never the universe. The universe knows. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great point. And also, I think when you ask, how do they do this to people? How are they so wicked? How can they do this? There's examples of all over the world of they call it dehumanization. So what they do, they see a person as an object. The slaves were dehumanized. You know, black slaves in America. Oh, you're not human. And the abusers would make cartoons out of black people and make them seem less than human.
Yes.
You know, and even in wartime, and propaganda would be, oh, these people are savages. You know, these people are, the Vietnamese are, oh, they're just peasants. They're not like us. They're not civilized like us. So that is a big part that they do. They dehumanize people. And that justifies treating them badly. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's my excuse to abuse you, because you're not as much as me. You're not as worth as much as me. So I have a right to treat you badly. And that's an ego thing. And that plays a big part in this world, in the Western world, I think everywhere. It's justifying that you're superior and justifying your behavior by dehumanizing somebody else. That's a really wicked thing people do. The mind does. Yeah, for its own purposes or benefits. But yeah, if we treat each other equally and appreciate the divinity in each person, none of this would happen. You know? It's because they're in their heads.
Exactly, mate. And it's I've seen stories of criminals that say that they always knew, mate, their spirit. It will always tell us, hey, this is wrong. And I'm sure this person, as he was abusing and that, spirit was saying, hey, you're wrong here. But then the mind, the egoic mind, can supersede that because you're in your physicality, you're attaching to your physicality. So the mind takes over and says, don't think about it. No, you're not wrong. Come on, you're not killing anyone. You know, there's always the justification. You didn't kill anyone. You're fine. I mean, they're enjoying it or something like that. Something very sick.
It's like a separate entity, isn't it?
Yes. But it supersedes, and the spirit is never going to take over. The spirit is never going to take over.
Free will.
It's going to say, I told you, and that I said my piece, and that. And who's going to pay at the end? The spirit. This person, when he passes, the spirit is going to accept all the karma that he has created, huge karma that he has created. Okay? Huge. Yeah. And the spirit is the one that they're going to come up with a bill or something and say, hey, spirit, this is all on you. Why didn't you say something? I said it, but I cannot force. There are some moments, I think I shared it in a show recently. I don't know if I can share it with you. Not really a friend, an acquaintance. When things were really rough here in Mexico a few years ago, he was kidnapped. And usually when they kidnap you, you're not alone. They do it in groups or something like that. So you're there with 3, 4 people, 5 people, especially when it's for money. Okay? And so they had a person that treated them really well, a custodian or something like that. So when the bosses left, when the criminals left, and they left them with a custodian, he had a moment, I think. The way it was explained to me, he had a spiritual moment, saying this is wrong. These people have families, their families are suffering, this is wrong. So he freed them and told them to leave. And they say, come with us. And he said, no. And that was probably, he knew he was going to be killed. He was probably killed. Because I don't know, when the criminals came back and there were no prisoners, they were going to kill the custodian. But he had that moment. His spirit probably had enough. I don't know how to explain it. But it was a moment, let these people go. Okay. This is the right thing to do.
Good for him. Good man.
So I think we see these things when people do unexplained things, when criminals do unexplained things, that the spirit just had enough. And because the spirit is always telling you, always, mate. If you listen to it, the spirit is always telling you. So you have to listen to it. And your egoic mind will suppress that because it will go through rationality, will go through explanation. Hey, you're having a great time here, you're doing drugs, you're having sex. What's wrong with that? This girl is offering herself to you, you're not forcing her. I mean, we'll go through those explanations. Okay? He won't tell you you're a demon, you're doing horrible things. The spirit will the spirit will not judge you. The spirit will just tell you, this is wrong. This is wrong, this is right. Very simple explanation. If you want to go beyond that, why is this wrong? The spirit is going to say, I'm not going to explain it to you.
No.
When you go with your compass, it's like that. Simple explanations. Go here, not go there. Oh, but I want to go there. Then go there because you have your free will. I already told you. Go here, don't go there. You want to go there, go there. Okay?
Good choice. Yeah. Absolutely. I've got a video, DVD somewhere. I think I threw it out because I threw my telly out ages ago. But it's called, oh, mate. Koyanis Garcia. I have to go outside, Alex, because they're locking the park.
All right, no worries. We're going to pause the video, okay?
Right, ready.
Okay, so we're back after Tony was kicked out of the park because they close at 9. And but anyway, we have gone for a good 45 minutes, Tony. So, do you have anything in closing?
Yeah, I was mentioning a video. It's called Koyanis Garcia. It's a Hopi Indian word, and it means a life out of balance. Koyanis Garcia. And I think that's what the problem is with this so-called civilized world. Their mind is not in balance with their heart. So they're too much in the head thinking, ego, not present, rather than balanced with the heart. Natural mind. I think natural mind is when the mind and the heart work together. There's not one dominating. So I'll just put in a nutshell, sum it up like that, mate. I think people have been misled for so many generations that they're spiritually out of balance. Their mind is not in balance with their hearts. So yeah, it's the work on themselves though. They've got to work on themselves to put the work in, you know, and appreciate what is. I think that's it, mate.
Yes, this topic apparently doesn't, but it gives, we could do 3 shows on this topic. And another thing I noticed was that I always said we have this implanted notion, it comes from the egoic mind, of need to know, of need to understand. I disagree on both. We don't need to know, we don't need to understand. Okay, so I think religions, all of them, kind of want to offer the solution and say, here is what really going on. And here is what's going to happen after death, because we're so afraid of death. That, okay, that's great that I have, you know, these people, I will guess a good percentage, they feel they're in the right place because the prophet is going to intercede for them. He has a connection to God. We all have a connection to God, but they rationalize that, you know, I'm here, I'm donating, I'm participating, because it's not only donating 10%, you're putting work for free, mate. They build the churches now with the free time on top of the 10%. So they feel they're putting in the work to be in the afterlife. I share that, unfortunately for me, I find it very sad that I see churches full of old people. I'm talking Catholic churches. And I feel when you grow old, if you're afraid of that, you say, hey, I'm better to establish my connection with the church because I'm about to cross over and who knows, maybe I can. And it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that will be the reason or anything like that. It goes back to this eternal need to know, need to understand. Well, I'm going to share with you. It comes from my intuition. I don't think you need to know. I don't think you need to understand. Okay? Especially with spiritual things, they just are. They just exist. They just are. Right, wrong, left, right, whatever. The spirit is not going to go into discussions. It's not going to go into explanation. It's not going to make it easy on you or something like, okay, here is the true explanation why. No,
we don't need to know.
And because you and
but I... Here.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Good. Yeah, you know, when I finish recording, I'm going to walk down the road. I don't know where I'm going, but I know what direction I'm going in. So I don't need to know every detail. I just need to follow my nose, be in the moment, and that's how. And life will give me what I need. Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah, we don't need to know everything. We just need to appreciate what is.
And totally agree with you. I mean, I share with you your analogy of leaving the rock, and for me, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's something very recent for me, but I decided I'm gonna go with my compass. And sometimes my egoic mind will say, no, this doesn't make any sense at all. And I say, thank you, egoic mind. Actually, have it a little bit different than you made. I don't think it's mind and heart working together. I think it's the mind working for the heart. Okay?
Yes.
In that, you know, the heart is the boss. Your spiritual connection is the boss.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
Because the mind is going to be like an employee that always has an opinion. I've seen those. I work with those. Oh no, we shouldn't do this. We should do this, that. How about you take orders? Okay. How about we went this way and you don't? Because I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, those employees that always have something to say. Okay, no, we should do it this way.
Expert of nothing. Yeah.
Yes, the mind is not the boss. The mind wants to be the boss, and I think in this unfortunate people having an unfortunate incarnation such as this person, is the mind is totally in control. It's totally in control, and then overfed by the air quote success or money and that.
Yeah.
If your spiritual connection is disconnected, it's not that you're not a spirit anymore. It's your spirit is totally suppressed. As I shared with criminals, they claim that they started killing people and they don't even think about it. It's like an act. They just do it. Okay, they're shooting, but they're not thinking about it. And the spirit is saying every time, like, this is wrong. Okay, you're the one shooting. I'm not gonna take the gun out of you. No, it's not the way the spirit works.
No.
But just imagine how beautiful it is your divine connection, your spiritual connection, that at the end of your life, you die, the body goes, which is the one that the mind goes, the mind doesn't go with you, the mind stays in the body, and the spirit is given the list of things. Okay, all of this.
Yeah.
And the spirit will accept it and say, yes, that's the way it works. And I'm just going to keep telling you when it's wrong and when it's right. I hope someday you decide to listen.
Yeah. Right.
It's like having a beautiful friend that doesn't judge you, doesn't impose on you. He just wants the best for you. And he's out there with you all the time. And he's telling you, Tony, go this way, mate. No. I'm going to go this way. All right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't judge you. I don't hate you. I love you. Because the spirit is the creation. The spirit is a connection to the creator, to the source.
Yeah.
In essence, your spirit is the creator. So we have the creator with us all the time. Yeah. And he's always loving us, always caring for us, always telling us. He's never imposing and he's never judging. Even in horrible acts like that. Okay, because this lady, I think I didn't share it on the recording, that there was a lady abused by the second person, not the third one. She was a little bit, she was probably like 50 or something on the recording, on the documentary. And at the end, she said, we dedicate this documentary to this lady because after the recording of the documentary, she decided to kill herself. And the ex-husband comes on and says she decided to kill herself because she wanted to meet God and question why you didn't stop. And it's such a huge question. Why God doesn't stop evil? Because if God stops evil, he will stop the universe. Okay?
Yeah.
And I know that sounds harsh or that sounds demonic, but trust me, that explains how free will and the universe works. You're entitled to these mistakes, but you have to own them. Okay? We're going to make mistakes, but you have to eventually understand how to behave and how to listen to your spirit and how to become your spirit. And then you're home. You see?
That's it.
Then you're home. Then you're back home. Yeah. But we have to go through these experiences. And I'm not saying we should do stuff like this. And please don't get me wrong. It's so confusing. But we have to understand it's on them. It's for every being to own their mistakes. It's not God's fault. Okay.
We make choices.
Exactly.
We make wise choices. That's what we need to be doing. Make wise choices in every moment and not follow other people. Like they need to believe, they need to fit in, they need to have a leader, they need to believe. No, just make wise choices in the moment. That's what we're here for. I can't be a mile away now, I'm here. I can't be yesterday, I'm here. But make wise choices here, now. That's it. But they're so in their head, it's a shame.
Yes. No, go ahead.
It's a shame, mate. Yeah, like people need to learn, stop trusting the mind, and stop following other people, and live your unique path. Live your own life. Think for yourself. That's it, mate.
Like Waking the Future, Joe. Yes, mate. Totally agree. Stop thinking. Stop following. Listen to you. Listen to your spirit. And always be confident that you have the ability to change. You can change today. So you're in a prison?
Yeah.
I've killed 100 people? Okay, you can start changing today. That's not going to change what you have done. That's not gonna make it right. But you can start changing today. You have that. We all have that in us. We can start changing today. What's changed? Listening to our spirit. Hey, I killed 100 people. This person right now, which is in jail, he made horrible, unspeakable things. But he can start listening, not in the ego that I'm the prophet. No. Come on, for real. Listen to your heart. Listen to your connection. Start this little life you have left, 20 years, 30, I don't know, 10 years. Listen to your heart. And then you're in the right path. That's it. And yes, there's a lot of ground to cover. Okay, because that, whatever you do doesn't change what you have done. You have to deal with that. That's the universe, okay? You have to deal with that. But you can choose to change today. Thank you, mate. Great topic. And great topic. Thank you for having this show today.
No worries. Thanks very much. Have a nice evening.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for everyone. And if you can, please stay for the last 2 minutes of the show. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breakthroughs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient for others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website, www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.